Yeah, you would. No offense, but like, he's really good at storytelling.
Okay, let's see here. All right, now moment of silence.
All right, welcome back to the Fuss Boys. Last week we were a man up. This week we're a man down. But we're gonna see how it goes.
Tragic day.
Yeah, they died.
What? No, they did not.
Oh, my bad.
They didn't
I
die.
got the wrong memo.
Yeah. Well.
Well,
So, our opening story is one night, Nick and I went to Wendy's to get ourselves some snackies, and there was a man there who seemed particularly inclined to get us to buy a cookie.
Well, was he like an employee or was he just
an employee.
Okay, employee.
you've probably seen him at Wendy's before, because somehow every Wendy's I go to, he's there, no matter the location. He's always moving around, and at the Wendy's that I'm at.
What?
Infinite Wendy's man.
The infinite Wendy's.
Infinite
Wendy's has a
Wendy's
clone
man, okay.
army.
He is the father of
Just
somebody
this
that goes to our school. I'll tell you who later.
Okay, cool.
Rip.
And
Well, who went to our school?
Yeah.
while we were ordering, he was like asking if we wanted a cookie or like if we wanted like a drink or something, and we kept saying no, but he was talking to someone else. So
Also, when
it was
we were
quite
ordering...
confusing. And then once we got to the window, after we had ordered from the actual thing, he's handing Nick the stuff, staring right at him, just,
Right into my eyes.
"Do you want a cookie?" And Nick goes, "No." And then he goes and covers up his mic. "I'm not talking to you." Just like yelling at Nick. And then like he goes back, gets the other stuff, hands it to Nick again. "All right, and did you want a cookie?" Talking to another guest. But he's staring right at Nick. Just, "Do you want a cookie?" And Nick goes, "No." And he just, "I'm not talking to you." And he just gets pissed. It's hilarious. It was so funny. This guy was just like raging. It was so funny.
But then the last time he said it was the best time.
There was a third time?
Yeah, there was a third time.
Well, why'd you keep saying no?
Okay. The second time I was messing with him,
But then the third
but
time,
the third time
it
I
seemed-
completely forgot
it seemed
about the
like-
last two times
My God.
because it seemed like he was just talking to me.
and it had taken him forever. I had gotten a lemonade, and like we had gotten the other stuff forever ago, and the lemonade finally comes, and Nick had forgot about it.
And then he hands me the stuff one last time. We're done paying and everything. We're about to leave, and then he's like, "You want a cookie?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, sir, I don't want a cookie." And he's like, "I'm not talking to you."
legitimately pissed.
Wait, wait. I've never, when I've gone through Wendy's drive-thru, they've never asked me if I wanted a cookie.
It's the one up by Catherine's house,
Oh yeah,
where
that
they
one?
only have the one window.
Yeah,
So the guy at the window is also the guy talking to the people in the line.
but still, wait a minute. So are you talking about the people in the car line or the actual
People in the car line.
Okay.
So he's talking to the headset.
So how many people wanted a cookie that day?
No,
then?
it's his job to ask people for a cookie.
Really? I've
to
never
get
gotten
in the
that
line.
offer
That's why
before.
he asked us while we were in the thing.
I see. Okay, cool.
And then asked the other people on the headset when we were up at the window.
I see. Okay, cool.
But for some reason, when he says it, he likes to give me the Hawkeyes and get like just mentally
The eyes of
mess up
longing.
my
Wait,
brain.
what are the chances though that every single time he came out, he was telling someone else, "Do you want a cookie?" Because wouldn't he be like taking other orders and stuff?
That's
It was odd. He's just an odd man.
no, he's a weird dude. But yeah, he just like
He's
straight
a
up.
weird
He
guy.
just straight
you
up
should have
yelled
said
at me.
you should have said yes at some point.
Yeah. Wait, you want a cookie? Wait. You want a cookie?
I wasn't talking to you.
I saw you want a cookie! Guys, I sold a cookie!
Finally,
No!
these stale freaking cookies will leave this establishment.
I got a cookie sale! Everybody's cheering. They throw the fries in the air. I can't believe it! Somebody sold a cookie!
It has been 34 days since we've last sold a cookie.
Our first cookie sale!
They've got like a cookie quota they have to meet or they get fired. It's like 1.5 cookies. Ridiculously low.
Imagine the boss, or is just like, okay, Dale, you really worked yourself, and I appreciate that, but you haven't met your cookie quota.
I know you got employees a month last month, but your job's gonna be on the line unless you sell at least 4 cookies today.
This is incredibly important to this
But
establishment.
just like imagine.
You
how-
don't realize cookie sales are the staple of our income.
They're the merch of Wendy's.
They- you
And
know,
then he's like, "Sir, you're telling me to sell 4 cookies today, and I haven't even sold a cookie this month."
yeah, no,
Well, Dale,
you see
you're
that
gonna
logo?
have to figure it out. You see that girl up there on that sign? See those pigtails?
You stole
Those don't
that
come
crap
easy.
from me.
Do you want to earn your own pigtails?
When you look, when you want to,
You're never gonna
have
have
your
pigtails
pigtails.
unless you sell these 4 cookies.
he turns around, sees a bunch of employees with this long pigtails.
Dude, like stirring up the fries, just twirling his
They
pigtails.
just have like a hall of twirls, and then just like a big table with people talking, eating Wendy's with like their twirls. I see.
Oh, no.
Dale has been let go today.
I thought you meant a Hall of Twirls, like a Hall of Fame for
Yeah.
best Wendy's.
Or not even not.
That too, but
Yeah.
like you have to like sit at the table too. Like they're just talking to each other. You know, they're the higher ups.
I like to think, when someone like gets fired, it's just like, oh, I saw you sneaking fries. That's an egregious offense. Hand over your pigtails. Fine. Didn't want him anyway. As he
I
just-
always hated this job.
I know you're in a bad place, but no need to lie to me. and it just storms out, and then just like goes to like a corner, like in the back next to the dumpster, starts crying while slowly trying to make like pigtails out of trash. And he's just like, oh,
Wendy, how could you do this?
He sees a bunch of spaghetti and he puts it on his head. Please stay.
"You freckled goddess, I served you."
It turns out Wendy's is actually like a cult religion.
I'll never
Everyone
be able
who
to
works
eat
there.
a Frosty again. It's too painful. Oh man.
No, but like this is how I imagine it. Actually, they don't just take away the pigtails, but like they're like also go to the fridge really quick, and then they excommunicado them, and then like all the other employees are like, "Hey, where's Dale at?"
Wait, excommunicado
It's
or
a-
execute?
Yeah, it's from it's a reference to John Wick.
Oh,
Excommunicado.
what's that?
What?
Annihilated, basically.
You don't.
Do you kill them?
Yeah, it's essentially a everybody in this Hitman world. Everybody in this Hitman world now has to kill you when you are labeled excommunicado.
So you're basically screwed.
Yeah,
And
then
usually
a
they
bunch of
circle
people-
around you, and like,
just fire into you.
but when you're John Wick, you get a head start.
Great movie.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, great movies.
But yeah, like, no, they don't even like tell him that he's fired. They're just like, "Hey, can you go to the fridge really quick?"
No.
Like, I'm sorry about the other day. Like, you've been a great employee.
I just lock
Have
them
a
in
Coke
there.
on me.
No, oh gosh.
Go get yourself a free Frosty.
You just-
Goes in the fridge, locks it.
You just come back with the pigtails,
I-
and someone sees you. What do you do?
My
The
mind,
next
went.
morning,
You
my,
know
my,
it's been done.
my mind went to a dark place. And
Would you like to share?
that's the primary source of meat.
Oh.
Hmm.
That's why the
Maybe that's what
burgers-
McDonald's
the square
was like for a while.
burgers.
I mean, right before they
Square
said
burgers.
made with 100% meat.
It was 0% meat before they said 100% meat. I'm guaranteed it.
No.
0%
No,
meat.
they
I think what they meant is that there's like a binder that you do that you have that you to make it essentially you only have a little bit of meat but you want to make it look big so you put crap in there to make it look big. That's what they were talking about, not being 100% meat. Same philosophy, not philosophy, the philosophy
Those
of meat.
chicken nuggets.
Not chicken nuggets, bologna. Bologna is
I don't
actually
like
a
bologna.
small amount of meat that's just kind of yeah, they've kind of put stuff in there to make it.
I heard
make it
bologna
Bologna's
is
so
like
gross.
I heard bologna is actually like sliced up uncooked hot dogs. That's what I heard.
But wait, the phrase
But
makes
it's
so
like-
much more sense now. That's baloney because that's filler crap.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
But
There
I
is-
legit hate bologna. I think it's
so
disgusting.
gross.
Yeah, I think it's
I think
It's like
Oscar
Spam.
Mayer was a fool.
Oscar Mayer.
And his weens.
Was there never actual Oscar Mayer?
I don't know.
I'm sure there was.
Why would I know that?
Was there an actual Colonel? There wasn't an actual Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, there
Yeah, there
was.
was.
Yeah, there was.
He was alive until
There-
like
the first KFC is in
died.
downtown Salt Lake.
I know.
With like his suit and everything. It's fantastic.
Oh, I haven't ever been in there.
he was a real
Yeah.
man, Doc.
Yeah, he was real.
That's
He was a
it.
real dude. He had like
Was
his
Wendy
own,
real?
Probably not.
Yeah, no, Wendy.
Wendy is Dave's daughter.
Exactly.
She's in the commercials. or at least was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
she's old and fat now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's come on.
She's just
But like, she doesn't look like Wendy.
yeah, she
It's
no
the
no
main
longer
thing-
looked yeah. She
The
no
main
longer
thing
looks
I'm
like
trying to imply.
yeah. That's
I'm not
fair.
trying to say she's aggressive.
Just imagine in the
Yeah.
future when
She
there's
is-
like there's
she
just
is
like all these
older and
progressive
darker, yeah.
commercials with like Flo's face as a part of the logo. Was that a real woman?
Was Flo, well,
Was
Flo is not
Flo-
Flo
was
is not
Flo
really a
real?
real
Flo
woman.
is simply a character.
She's an actress, but she's not a real woman.
Yeah, she's fake.
Oof.
She doesn't exist.
I need to cut her off. She's too fake.
She probably goes to high school.
Flo? She's been getting older, I've noticed lately.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
It
She's
kinda
still
throws
in
me
their
off.
commercial.
Yeah.
Aren't they just the box now?
What?
The progressive box that does stuff off the diving board in their commercials. Now.
No, she's still in the commercials from time to time. I notice.
She's
Yeah.
just really annoying.
No, I have no quarrel with
I
Flo.
like her more than the T-Mobile girl.
I don't
Want to know who I
I
like?
like the guy from T-Mobile. Or is it Verizon?
No,
the one with the hair, the curly hair.
No, I like the guy from like the insurance commercials. Is it Allstate, the one who like gets hurt all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Mr.
Oh,
Mayhem.
I'm
Mr. Mayhem.
Mayhem.
keep yourself safe.
I
Mayhem like
actually
me.
think Geico has dope commercials in my
Oh,
opinion.
okay. They're
Yeah,
pretty
the Geico commercials they are usually actually pretty dang funny in my opinion.
My favorite were the Esurance ones with the babies.
Oh
They were
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, those
dude.
yeah.
Ugh.
Like, did you see the Geico commercial of Alexander Graham Bell in like an old timey theater, getting a call on like just his freaking phone?
I didn't.
I did not.
Okay.
Have you guys seen the newest commercial of like Mr. Mayhem? He's like, I think I'm butchering the words here a little bit, but he's like, I'm just a 3-year-old ring bearer with the bad habit of swallowing
and
things
he-
I shouldn't. It's like that line itself just like made me laugh so hard the first time I heard it.
3-year-old ring bearer who likes to eat shiny things.
No, he says who has a bad habit of eating shiny
Shiny,
things.
yeah.
Oh, that's a bad.
That's
And he
great.
walks forward with an empty pillow, and they're like, "No." Oh man.
With State Farm, you'll be able to fix problems like me or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
That's so sad. I am the biggest problem you will ever face.
I think there was like I can't. I might be dead wrong about this, but I remember there was like a news thing where someone got a llama to be a ring bearer for their wedding.
I'd do it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just
That's
this,
impressive.
yeah, no, just for this llama. Well, it wasn't that impressive. It wasn't that impressive, but it was definitely extravagant. And that they had someone pulling the llama along. They had it all dressed up, and then on the very back just this tiny ring, like that. Like the poor groom had to go because it was
Reach up.
yeah.
The short dude.
Yeah.
Like Cody or Noel's size.
just imagine instead of a llama, they had a Saint Bernard, and it was just like somewhere lost in the hair. Like,
I love Saint Bernards.
No, it's got the barrel, and they take the
barrel.
They
yeah.
take the rings out of the barrel. That'd be good.
Wow.
What was the barrel supposed to have in it?
alcohol.
Yeah, booze.
Alcohol.
Oh, lit.
Well, it was.
To
Well,
warm you
it
up.
wasn't. It wasn't. I think it was like booze and medical supplies because
It was
a
really
weird
cold.
combo.
And alcohol warms you up.
Yeah.
Makes you dumb at the same time. So.
yeah, no, like yeah, the point of the booze was to make sure that exactly to theoretically warm you up, even though you don't actually get you warmed up. It tricks your body into thinking that, which makes you less likely to die. And then
I think Mythbusters did a thing on it. But I don't remember what
Mythbusters?
they said about it.
I think the only
What happened to Jamie
Mythbusters.
Heineman?
The only Mythbusters I can remember is the one where he's like, "Can you explode a toilet by dropping a cigarette in it?" And they blew it up.
With a cigarette or just?
I want to know Mythbusters.
You know, I
that's-
can't
And
remember
then
that.
they made it explode with 2 sticks of dynamite.
I want to know Mythbusters that's changed my lifestyle completely.
What?
It's a little simple, but
The
like
running on water ninja one. I gave
No.
up after that.
the one with-
Awful day.
Circular things that they put on their feet and they just fold over and they fall.
Very good. Yeah.
So good. Oh.
So like the one where they like tested if like making a phone call in an airplane actually does anything, and they found out that it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Ever since that, I've lived my life pulling out my phone when I shouldn't on a plane, hoping that the lady comes over, just so I could be like, Mythbusters proved it wrong.
No,
They
Okay,
won't,
there.
they won't stop you anymore.
They don't?
No,
No,
I always do it.
I always do it too. Mythbusters just literally changed my life. Because I now get 15 extra minutes of screen time on the airplane.
Wow. That
How
15 minutes
valuable.
is life.
Yeah, I was about. Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
not even.
Russell
It's,
M. Nelson would be proud of you.
I don't really. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I exactly. You only get 15 minutes. So it's not like you even get anything really freaking far up above in the sky. So I just kind of just put it on airplane mode to make the people happy.
Unless you spend like $10 on in-plane Wi-Fi,
I don't.
which is ridiculous.
And it
Dude.
sucks usually.
And most.
Maddie's dad like flies a bunch, so they have like a full-time membership, like always. So she was able to have Wi-Fi the whole flight to DC
That's lit.
for free.
All their one thing, their Wi-Fi is crap. You know, it
I've
doesn't-
never done it.
I hacked the equipment and got the Wi-Fi for free on my way back from New York, except it was a red eye, so I didn't even use it. But I was a hacker
How'd you hack it, bro?
using my special equipment. I don't know.
VPN, dog.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not. I don't think those work.
They do at school.
They
They
do
work
at school, but they don't on the airplanes. Because they
National security
what?
and all that juju.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, I suppose. But the point of the VPN is to put yourself in a different location. That to trick the Wi-Fi thing. Oh wait a minute.
But also,
this.
if there are Wi-Fi restrictions, it affects that.
Yeah, no. I think there's something. I don't know what I'm talking about.
To go back,
Tommy, the tech guy.
to
I'm
go
really
back to
not,
the
though.
hacker point, this one idiot at school, not a big fan, said I looked like the hacker from Cyberchase.
I couldn't tell from the idiot comment.
Have you guys seen Cyberchase?
Yes, I have seen Cyberchase.
It's
hacker?
the hacker to you.
The hacker's body,
Does he have like,
like
a
it goes like
ginormous head?
this,
Yeah.
and then his head, his big,
And
tri-
his-
it's
his
like
legs
a
are
Phineas
this
head.
long.
His legs are this big, and the rest of his body is this big.
And he was trying to poke fun at the fact that, yeah, my legs, I'm like 50-50. But, anyway, so in calc, seeing as I'm the only person in that class who
Cyberchase
knows
is
what
dope.
they're doing, I always just help them by giving them the short, cheaty way to do everything. And so they're like, thanks. And I go, it's the hacker to you. Every time. It makes me so happy.
I think I know which idiot you're talking about.
This man
do.
has a dope chin.
He does have a
He
really
has
good
the
chin.
strong. He is the opposite of Leafy.
Yep.
Look at his legs, bro.
Oh my god.
Show it to the camera.
The hacker. This is okay, and now this is the hacker. This is Aiden.
Here's my legs. They're not that short.
Hacker again. Aiden again. Yes.
Just
Yeah.
for a very balanced
So,
comparison.
yeah. The trick is to turn your insults into memes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
no,
I got
Great
a
quote.
lot of
Turn your
memes.
insults into memes.
Oh, shoot. I should have used that as my senior quote.
Oh yeah, no. That is literally the best thing you can do with your insults is to just completely meme them.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten some bad ones, and they've all turned into memes.
Nah.
Yeah, you already know my saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 L's make a dub. Which, by the way, statistically, is not true.
Hey, it's about the visual. You take this L,
No,
You
no,
take that.
no.
and then you turn it into a dub.
I am editing that out.
I hate so much when he does that.
And that's why I
like,
do it.
I turn into Michael and he turns into Toby for a split second, and I
yes.
just hate everything that he is.
I really okay.
His essence
Hot take.
Why are you the way that you are? I hate so much the things that you do.
Hot
That's
take.
why I do it.
I don't like The Office, but however, that is definitely one thing I thoroughly enjoy. Is just Michael's just
Utter hatred. for
utter
Toby.
even though it makes no sense at
It's
all
so
whatsoever.
And it, like even the meme came from it.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
No,
No, please, no.
Or, my favorite one is when they're in a meeting and Michael he looks at Toby and he's like, who let the lemonade in here? You should go die, you waste of life. And then it just goes on Toby, and it's just his face. Oh,
That's
it's
what I
just
love
so
about The
freaking
Office
done.
when they say something.
The
and then they just look at the
reactions,
faces.
the reactions are so good. Where it's just somehow they're always emotionless, but you can feel the
They're like-
pain behind their eyes.
Oh, one of it I love. I love Jim's pranks on Dwight,
They're so good.
especially the phone one.
Oh, with the nickels?
He just like progressively keeps putting a nickel in there so the phone's a little heavier each time without him noticing, and then like
No, the best is he's going through the complaints thing, and it's like, today Jim put my stuff in Jello. Today Jim pulled my chair out from under me, and then the next complaint is just, I hit myself in the head with the phone today. And it's not like Jim did anything, but that's just his complaint, and it cuts to the cutscene of Jim. That one actually took a while.
No, my favorite one is when he convinces Dwight he's Asian and he has a guy come in and he replaces all his photos and he remakes them with the Asian guy.
Another one is, they're still going through the complaints. It goes, my desk, by the end of the day, was 2 feet closer to the copier. And then it's a cutscene of Jim, and he goes, yeah, every time he got up, I just moved it an inch or two closer to the copier. And that's how I spent my whole day. It's so
Seeing
good.
him in The Quiet Place was so weird.
John
It was.
Krasinski is. I really
I love
like
him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I really like him.
What is his voice for the commercial? Is it E-Trade?
I do not know.
I think it's E-Trade. I just love his voice.
I hate the deaf girl in Quiet Place. That's a basic statement to say, but I don't care. She's stupid.
That was
All
she had a
I've
brother-
seen is the opening, like, 15 minutes when she gives him the shuttle toy again.
Oh my gosh.
And he was... And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why'd you give him...
No, the worst
Spoilers for A Quiet Place.
The,
Okay.
the worst part was watching that
I didn't
movie.
really say anything except that she gave him the shuttle toy.
Here's the thing.
He dies.
The worst part about watching that movie was I was in a theater with reclining chairs, and so every now and again my elbow would hit the recliner, and it'd just go. And it's dead silent, and all of a sudden I'm just like, and then I have to move it back, so it's
Are
back.
you with a chica?
Yes.
Nice. I feel like that's an awful movie to see with a girl.
Yeah.
It's just dead silent. the
Well,
whole
and I
time.
cried. That wasn't ideal.
Oh
Oh,
no!
that is-
I need to
oh.
see that freaking movie.
That scene.
You
bro.
still haven't seen it, Mike.
Can
Why?
we watch it after?
It's
the
not that
podcast?
good.
No.
I'm not a big fan.
What? Really? You
I
do not
liked
like
it.
A Quiet Place?
I've heard it's so good.
It's. I think it's really freaking good. It is a smart, well done
I
movie.
just don't like movies in general.
I like movies, but I don't like to do that as like a date or an activity.
I like to do it as a date if I already know the person.
Well, like, the thing is about a movie is you're watching the movie and you're not like talking to them at all. You're just like,
Yeah, no, I'm kind of similar in that.
It's fun.
I
It's
do
more
it.
fun to
I
watch
do it as a
show.
second date. Usually, I go to a movie.
What do you do for a first date?
Whatever the heck I feel like doing. That's what. Just
Solid.
kidding. But I remember the best squeaky noise story. Do you want to share this story
What was it?
from youth conference?
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So, it was youth conference. I think it was the second night out of 2. So we were leaving in the morning.
No, it's the first night.
Was it not? Oh, it was the first night because
Yeah.
the second night Jack got hit.
Yeah.
The first night, we had been up kind of late, and we were supposed to wake up at a reasonable hour, which isn't supposed to be expected out of teenagers, I guess. And the girls decided that they were done, so they went to bed in their tent, which was about 40 yards from the campfire, where we proceeded to turn on Jack's Bluetooth speaker and listen to our profane rap and dance.
Thank you.
Very loudly.
At youth conference,
Uh-huh.
after we had just had a fireside where the primary like theme was like, don't let the world influence you and don't see bad media or like music. And then 10 minutes later, the adults go inside and we're listening to.
We're listening to Waka Flocka, No Hands.
It was so good. And the girls got really mad and yelled at us. So they were like, turn the music off. We're trying to go to bed. And so we turned it off because we didn't want to make them super mad. And there was like you know the swing at Lagoon that
Yeah.
spins in a circle?
Mhm, yeah.
There was like a miniature version of that there with 2 chairs. And you like push it yourself
I
and
see.
it spins around.
Mhm.
And we put 2 of the younger kids on.
Oh.
And this thing probably hadn't been oiled in a couple decades. So we pushed it and absolutely ear piercing. Like, I wanted to put on, like, some earplugs or some earmuffs or something. Because we start turning it, and all of a sudden it goes... at about that exact same, like, tone. It was disgustingly
just
loud.
10
just
like-
awful.
like-
and we were about the same distance as we were when we were dancing
And-
from their tent, and it was easily 10 times louder.
And this is 10 minutes after we had been playing our
After
music.
we
and
had
they got
been
mad
playing
at
the
us.
music.
So they get 10 minutes of silence, and all of a sudden,
For
like,
another 30.
would this thing make like a good siren? It was that loud?
It
or-
would be... It wasn't, like, siren loud.
it would be like an
But
ear.
if you're one of the people on it or spinning it, it kind of hurts.
It would be like
Okay.
a hearing
Alright.
test. You know, like, it's like a hearing test when there's just, like, really annoying high-pitched noises.
Yeah,
It's like one of those.
I see. Okay.
But really loud.
Yes, all right, fair enough. And what was the women's response to that, Juju?
Well, they didn't say anything.
We were doing it for like a half hour, and Natalie said that she was so tired she fell asleep in the middle of it.
Now, the funny part about
I
this
like it.
is there were a bunch of younger girls. And they all happened to have a crush on me. So it didn't matter what we did, as long as I was a part of it, we were completely in the clear the entire time.
At least with the younger girls.
Yeah.
At least with them, yes.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was so funny.
Oh, like I'll just say this camping story again. Like I haven't said it on the podcast, but with the trees, like
Oh, no.
Oh my.
Oh yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just ask you after.
Say it.
He's getting
Okay.
up like he's going to do ASMR again.
okay, guys.
No,
Yeah.
just
No,
say
I'm
the
not-
dang
We
story.
have mentioned ASMR in every single podcast.
It's because we're addicted secretly.
I'm
We haven't
hungry.
mentioned
love
it
it.
in the last podcast.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
All right, on to the next story.
We have to mention it in every podcast now.
Okay,
That's a
sounds
rule
good.
of thumb.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Go.
Wait, I'm actually doing ASMR.
No.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'll get a little closer to the camera. So, I was on this camping trip with a couple buddies of mine that I worked with, and there's I work at the summer camp, and it's the summer camp I went to as a kid, and there was Tommy. Okay, a little off topic. Tommy doesn't think that a normal summer camp is a summer camp. Tommy thinks what makes a summer camp
Is that you're camping?
No, that you're getting you're getting educated at, like
All the
because of
summer
it.
camps I've done.
Every
Yeah.
summer camp
It
he's been to
doesn't
is
have to.
educational, so he thinks it has to be.
It doesn't have to be educational.
Well,
It doesn't.
But his
If you ever go
juju
to
sounds like
band
daycare.
camp-
It's anything you
More
dream
like
it is.
daycare than it does actual.
Well,
you
I
know.
went to this
It
camp
is-
till I was
it's-
13.
It's more of like a daycare or like an activity camp.
Well, like they do field trips
Like,
every day.
I get why it's called summer camp. Yeah. Because summer camp doesn't have to be educational. But when you think summer camp, I feel like you either think of like a camping trip or like a getaway or like a band camp
Or like a
or
college,
like a theater
college
camp.
thing.
that exactly.
Well,
you
it's
know,
like
that's-
it's a day camp.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
So-
day. Okay.
yeah.
This other kid, he's an interesting guy. We'll just give him a random name, Carson. So, sorry, I'm sorry.
I don't even get what's funny. Just go.
Tommy gets it.
Go.
Inside joke. That's
Just
all. All
go.
right, go ahead.
Say your story. This is going to be interesting.
I know, my bad. Tommy, stop looking at
I'm
me.
sorry.
So
Tommy, look
dumb.
that way.
Both of you are so dumb.
Sorry. We're sorry. This is terrible content.
Awful content.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
We don't want inside jokes in this.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's always a troublemaker. Like the first day of camp, I remember we were like on a hike, and like there's this little river, and like our counselor said like, "Hey, like, don't go by the water, or else you're in super big trouble." And this is the kid's first day of camp. I've already been doing it for a few years, and there he is in the river throwing like rocks up at us or whatever. And so yeah, and then we went to camp a couple more years, and like he was the same way throughout all of camp. So I didn't know how he was going to be because this was the first time we like saw this kid in like 3 years. He's similar, and so we get to our campsite, and Tanner is like this really quiet guy.
And this is
doesn't-
separate from the camp he works at. This is
this is like a
group of
little
friends.
getaway.
Yeah.
Tanner, like, he's a very quiet guy. and never,
wait.
You just name dropped. Because you said Carson at first, and now you said Tanner.
That was the inside joke between me and Tommy.
Oh. Okay, let's
Okay,
go.
okay.
For you, the inside joke was like I told Tommy like whenever I'd drop names, I'd say I'll just say they're fake. I'll say this isn't their real name. Maybe their name is Carson or whatever. That's his real name. That's the inside joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay, go.
Yeah.
okay,
Sorry,
now
Carson.
you know his names.
Yeah. Well.
Their names.
His plural names. His pronouns.
So there are a couple guys there.
We know his pronouns.
And then my like really good friend Cameron was there. He's gonna be on a podcast someday, so I don't care about that one. But like, Tanner never gets in trouble at all, and Carson thinks it's a good idea to chop down a tree so we could put a hammock in a certain place. Like that's more convenient. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really stop him. I was kind of laughing through the entire experience. But he just chopped down an entire tree with a hatchet. Not a saw, not an axe, but a hatchet. He chopped down an entire tree and did it in under 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. What an
And this is a
animal.
really skinny kid too. He was efficient.
There was power behind
There's
him.
skinny kid rage.
And then like, and then
Real thing. I can testify.
I didn't want like the
Scary.
evidence to like be right there on the campsite, so I helped him move the tree somewhere to the back. And I was like, all right, I really hope they don't find that tree. Well, the next night, after we're at this lake and we were just having fun at the lake, we came back. We're making dinner, and I just see Carson chopping down another tree. At this point, I'm not laughing. I'm like, Carson, what the fuck are you doing? The first tree was like dumb enough, but this tree is right in front of our campsite, and it's gonna be so obvious that we chopped a tree down. And he's like, it's gonna be fine. And then the really old guy, there's like this really old guy who owns the campsite who like smokes a cigarette and drives around in his golf cart, you know, campsite people.
Just campsite people.
Of course,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
The worst type of people.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They're always rude.
Keep
Actually,
going.
no, they're not always rude, but like.
Continue.
So, he just drives by while Carson is stepping on this tree to tip it over. And I was like, Carson, the campsite guy is here. Get the fuck down from that tree. And I'm just like getting super nervous. And I'm a terrible liar. And the campsite guy is like, how was your camping, Ben? And like, he doesn't care at all. He's just doing it because he feels like he has to. And then he's just looking around and he sees a tree that's like tipped over. Like not quite chopped down yet, but pretty much chopped down. And he's like, was that like that before you got here? And I was just looking down, making it super obvious, but like I couldn't give him like direct eye contact. And then Carson comes out of nowhere. And he's like, no, that wasn't there at all. And then the guy, he only asked the question just to embarrass us. He's like, no, it wasn't. That damn tree was not chopped down before you got here. And then he left, and it was super embarrassing. And then he like drives past us again with this like this random chick, and she's like, "Have a good night, guys." And I couldn't tell she was being sarcastic at the time. And then like Carson and Cameron and even me, like I didn't realize she was sarcastic. I was like, "There's no way, like they're letting us off the hook like that." But we weren't too worried at that point. And then the National Forest Service came in, and the National Forest Service like.
They mean business.
They act like they're cops. They're not cops at all. What the guy actually said, he's to try to gain our respect, he said this. He's like, I used to be a cop.
So I mean, no funny business. That's kind of sad.
Oh.
And then they were walking around and they're like, yep, these are some fresh cuts on these trees. Oh, and I see branches. And they're oh, there's more tree damage. You guys damaged this tree, this tree, this tree. And at that point, it was kind of stupid because like they were looking at small branches that we chopped down with a hatchet. Well, that Carson chopped down with a hatchet. And it's like, I wouldn't have been like chopping fresh tree branches down. But it's like, is it a huge deal? Like, not really, in my opinion. And then like, Carson also carved his initials into one of the trees. And like, that's not a big problem either. And he's like, oh, freshly cut initials. So you guys definitely have something to cut stuff with, unlike what you said. Because Carson said we have nothing to cut anything.
Oh my gosh. Freshly cut. They like lick the tree. Yeah, this is fresh.
And then sniff it.
That's about 12 hours ago.
It was cold steel.
I think it
Freshly
was-
cut tree smells like freshly robbed banks.
I would know because I was a cop. In case you didn't pick that up earlier.
This is Chinese steel.
Why-
What a disgrace.
If you're gonna ruin these forests, man, use
it the
American.
You might as well be using some wood to chop down this tree. You have no business using Chinese steel.
What causes you to switch from being a police officer to being a member of the national, forest?
You're not good enough.
Probably
That's
just being
what.
a terrible cop.
I used to be a cop.
When he was a cop, he'd say, "I used to be something higher than a cop. I don't know what's higher than a cop.
FBI.
I used to be FBI."
He just makes his way down
FBI.
throughout life.
FBI. I
He
used to be-
started when he was a
FBI.
baby. He started as president, and then it just slowly went down from there.
I used to be president. He's currently the Secretary of Defense.
But like, yeah, they wrote down all our information.
He turns out to be the "you want a cookie" guy.
In the end,
Yeah.
I used to be a Forest Service guy.
But do you want a cookie?
Freshly
Freshly
baked
baked.
cookie. No, but like, I just felt really bad because like Tanner was the one who like paid for the campsite, and he got in the most trouble out of all of us, even though he was the least involved with the situation. And even though they wrote down all our information and everything, like, he's the first guy they're going to be calling about chopping down 2 trees. And then, he lives in the dorms, so his parents are going to get a phone call at their house while he's in the dorms. And then they're going to call him. He's never done, like, anything bad in his life. And, like, I could just see the pain in Tanner's eyes when Carson was chopping down the trees. Like, it just sucks really bad.
As you could tell there was a chopping down in his soul with every chop.
Well, it's kind of ironic because like his degree is like environmental preservation, and he wants to be in the National Forest Service
Oh, no.
in the future. That's like his job. That's his dream job in the future, like working in the outdoors and like being a ranger
Do you
or like
think
doing something like
do you
that.
think that's gonna
Ranger would be
sabotage him?
Huh?
Do you think that's gonna sabotage him?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but imagine that crap. Like, there's like the Ranger Academy or something like that, and he's like competing with someone else, and
So
they
you
start
chop
like
down
they start doing digging, and it's just like, hey, what's Tanner's last name?
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm gonna just say Johnson. Tanner Johnson.
Sure.
Hey,
Wait, that's his actual? No, I'm kidding.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
that would be insane. Hey, Johnson, take a look at these. Like, toss a file of photos, and then it's just he opens them just to see
Dead trees.
Yeah, dead trees.
And then like a
Carson-
guy crying because trees are like people to him. These are some innocent
It's a
trees.
classified folder.
Classified.
The folder has a classified stamp on it. How did you find that?
I spent years trying to bury this information.
Now,
No, he wouldn't be like that though. He's like
Pulls
he's like the
out his
quietest.
same Chinese hatchet.
Knowing Tanner, he's like the quietest kid I know. Second they pull out those classified files of murdered trees, he's just gonna turn around and walk away with his head down in disappointment.
Just a shame.
You can't just leave a criminal investigation. I have to go
Why not?
home.
No, he'd say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I
Curfew.
guess I'll stay." He's a really good guy.
Just to, what? That would be insane if there was just like like a person of interest or a suspect, but they weren't doing anything wrong, so just the police just encountered them. And they're just on the scene and anything like that, and the police were talking to someone else, like a witness or something like that, and the guy just left, just calmly and efficiently walked out of there, no one noticing.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Yeah.
I bet it has.
I bet it's happened a ton.
Yeah, no, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna leave now. Hey, where are you going? Oh, I'm staying right here, officer. Okay.
Bye.
He steals.
The officer
food.
turns back, walks.
No, but the forest people
I
legit
was the-
treated it like he was murdered. They're like, "This is the biggest offense you can make in a national forest." So I guess murdering
about,
someone
like,
in the national
This
forest
is
is
the
not the biggest
equivalent of
offense.
first-degree murder.
What if you burnt down the forest? I feel like that's a little worse.
But it's involved with hurting trees.
So it's burning down the forest.
No, it was just the act
Oh.
of hurting trees was
Oh, yeah.
the biggest offense.
And one of them's like married to a tree, I bet.
But yeah, now I have a fine that I have to pay, and they haven't called yet, so
I would,
it's going to court.
I
And
bet they dropped it.
That'd be
if
so
you haven't
sick.
gotten a call.
They said it could. They said it could take anywhere between 1 week and 6 months.
Oof. The Forest Service is not very efficient.
Do you really think they would be though?
So
They're
like,
trying to cut down on paper.
so if I don't get a
down.
call and I leave right before my mission, I'm gonna give my mom a heart attack. I'm gonna be like, I thought they'd call earlier.
Oh god.
Here's some extra money in my savings account if I need to pay a fine for cutting down 2 trees. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Oh gosh.
That's like the thing you say to her after you give her the hug and you're leaving for your mission.
Yeah.
He's walking on the plane. By the way, I have a fine from the Forest Service. If it comes, just take it out of my savings.
Also, if my mission call comes yet, I'd appreciate it if you grab that for me.
But still waiting on a mission call.
It's been a ridiculous amount of time.
A large amount of time. 6 weeks, right?
More.
Wow.
It'll be 7 weeks. This
I
summer.
got mine in 3 weeks.
He's going to Chile.
Chile, Concepcion South, November 20th. It's exciting.
But yeah.
I have another story. This is a camping story. They're actually 2 separate stories. Same location, though. We went there a lot of times.
Yeah.
This is a guy in our ward's cabin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know where this is
And
going.
one of the kids is just a very large version of like a 9-year-old.
He's like 6'5".
He's like,
Why, like,
He's 6'5". He told me he was 6'5".
but he's very hunched. So on
Yeah.
average, he's like 6'3".
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
so he's 9 years old and he's 6'3".
No,
No,
he's
he's-
like 19.
He's on a mission currently.
Oh,
but
I
he
see.
acts like he's 9.
Yeah.
On one camp out, we were supposed to bring our own food. Yes.
I know who you're talking
We were supposed to bring our own food for like 2 days, and he brought a 2-pound bag of gummy worms and a medium bag of Sour Patch Kids. And then proceeded to ask one of the kids that night, as he was starving, if he could trade his bag of Sour Patch Kids for some hot dogs. Because he was dying. And so this is a separate camp out. On the way to this guy's cabin, which is up Mill Creek Canyon, right by mine actually.
Oh, yeah.
Except his is like a mile and a half up, whereas mine's only like...
How far does that road go up?
Pretty far.
It goes up like...
Are you talking about the road your cabin is on?
The road
or the
that
main
my
one?
cabin is on.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
It
went
goes up
that far.
almost 2 miles, I think.
Really? Dang.
Yeah. His is like a mile and a half. And at the very bottom, you know the gate
Yeah.
that I open?
Yeah.
And there's the river right there?
Yeah.
This guy decides that he wants to go stand on a log over the river. It's winter.
Yeah.
So there's ice on like part of the river.
Oh, dear.
Snow on the log and on the surrounding area.
Oh, I don't
And he
know
goes,
this.
I need to take a picture. This is going to look cool. He's wearing his sweats, which I don't think were his only pants, but may have been. I'm not sure.
Mm.
He climbs onto the log, falls off
Yeah.
into the water,
Oh, God.
freezing cold water,
Oh, good.
at the very bottom.
Oh.
Like at the very bottom of the hill. We
Yeah.
still have to hike up a mile and a half.
Yeah.
So he proceeds. This kid has probably the endurance of like, I don't even know what, like a second grade fat kid. Like, absolute trash endurance. But like, he ran the entire way because he was cold and his pants were starting to freeze to his legs. He ran all the way up. I could have never done that. This kid ran all the way up. It was incredible. He like pries off his pants as they're chipping away inside. It was incredible.
Also, you said he was wearing sweatpants. I don't think you could have a cool photo like with sweatpants on.
He wore like the skinny sweatpants, you know.
Oh,
That
okay.
actually looked kind of cool.
Like joggers, kind of.
The jogger sweatpants.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
And then a separate time.
Mhm.
This was the ultimate struggle of a camp out.
I know.
Oh, I know where this is going too.
It had just powdered, like snow, but powder.
Mhm.
So very light snow for about 8 inches to a foot.
Oh, dang.
We're at the bottom. We're planning on taking the snowmobiles up to the top.
Mhm.
We find out one of the snowmobiles has no oil, or very little oil, supposedly unoperational. So we try to use the other. It won't start. What do we decide to use? The one with no oil. So we start up that one. It starts smoking. Smoke stops. So we are like, all right, we're good. And then one of the leaders takes most of the gear with him up. Big dude. Huge, strong guy.
Mhm.
And he's taking this one up by himself while the rest of us are hiking. And he's getting stuck every like 30 yards. He has to go a mile and a half up. So he's like grabbing the snowmobile, lifting it out of the snow into a new position, and starting it over again. It's incredible. Like ultimate gorilla strength.
The entire snowmobile.
Yeah.
Not like off the ground, but like he lifts the front,
Oh, I see.
moves it,
Oh,
goes
okay.
to the back,
Pivots it.
lifts the back, you know.
Oh, that's still insane.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said he describes it
beast.
himself as using pure rage in a way he never has before.
I love it.
He's the best.
Oh, that's great.
And we got about a quarter of the mile up, and we're like, this sucks. We're going to get that other snowmobile started. We got it started by some miracle. And it had a little trailer on the back where we stuck. There was only me, one kid, and 3 leaders. No, 3 leaders. And how did it work? The kids sat down in this little trailer thing in the back
Yeah.
with our 3 boxes of Domino's pizza
Oh.
just on top of them. Okay, and then me and no. Sorry, the first snowmobile had by far the most enthusiastic guy in our ward.
Oh yeah.
And he rode this thing all the way up past the cabin we were supposed to go to
Yeah.
and started hiking back down.
Uh-huh.
Because he couldn't turn the snowmobile around on this very skinny path, so he just left it.
Oh.
And this 12-year-old, and the jacked guy were struggling with this snowmobile all the way up because it would get stuck every 30 yards. And when it would get stuck, it would kick all the powder out behind it directly onto the trailer with the 12-year-old, who proceeded to have a mound of snow up to his chin with the pizza underneath. Seemingly no pizza was there because all you could see was snow. It was incredible.
My gosh.
Um,
I did damage the pizza?
no, the pizza was fine.
Really?
That would be
even-
so satisfying, like opening the box and seeing
So
it was
we
fine.
put it in the oven when we got to the top, but it's beginning to get dark. We're still pretty far away,
Yeah.
and we've struggled just a ridiculous amount. My arms are burning. The big guy, who's incredibly strong, can't pull the starter anymore, so he has me start pulling the starter because he can't do it. He's too tired.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. And it's starting to get dark, so it's getting really cold. It was by the time we got to the cabin, it was at like -2 degrees.
Oh gosh. Ugh.
And it was dark. But we were at the cabin. We thought we were all good. We still had to go up and get the other snowmobile up on the path. So we go up and get that one. And as we're rotating it around, there's like one of the smaller leaders. He's pulling it towards him. And we pick it up and push it. And it knocks him over and lands on his leg. And he's like, oh, that hurt. He thought he broke his freaking femur.
Oh.
He was okay, but it was fine.
Oh gosh.
And then the big burly dude got knocked into a tree and almost fell into the river because we were turning it down. But we eventually made it only half frozen and minimal injuries. And it was perhaps the hardest and most fun camp out I've ever been on.
Dang.
We have so many good camp out stories.
It's
I think
incredible.
We should probably wrap up, but I want to just tell one. It's real quick.
Okay.
So we went on a week-long camp out through the Wind Rivers. Tons of stories there, but one that I want to share. I don't know why I thought of this.
Geesh Lake? No?
Geesh Lake was great, but we're not going to talk about that later. You
Chili Mac with me.
There's a lot of stories that we got to get to. So later on,
Save 'em
we'll
for
get
later.
to them.
Yeah.
Or else we'll not,
This
we'll
is
have
this is
content.
just a short one. So there's 4 of us. I'm sharing a tent with Jack, our friend. He's on a mission right now. Steven's sharing a tent with Bryce, our other friend, who's also on a mission right now.
Yep.
It's probably like, I don't know, 1 or 2 a.m. and we've just been kind of like talking quietly and hanging out, and we're kind of falling asleep. And Steven's about half asleep, and Bryce goes, "I really, really need to pee." And Steven, half asleep, just goes, "All right, Bryce, but remember, watch out for the big-lipped Asian dude."
The big-lipped Asian man.
The man, yeah, who he in his dream that he was having because he was half asleep,
So you're like-
he saw outside the tent.
You know how you're like half asleep?
And you just don't know what the hell is going
No,
on.
you know how you're half asleep, but
No, I totally get it.
You're
I get it.
You're
I totally
in
get
your
it.
current situation,
Yeah.
but it's total dream state.
I've already-
Yeah, like
I've
you see
explained
like the
my
real
Kung Fu
world,
Panda, I
but
totally
you also
get
see
it.
the dream state of your mind, and you just kind
And
of
it's
mesh it
super weird.
together.
But what I did was I like came out of my body, out of the tent into a bush, where I could see an Asian man squatting in the bushes with unbelievably large lips for a human being.
Oh no!
So I was in a third-person view, looking at this guy who was looking at our tent as we were all sitting there talking, and as I'm 3/4 of the way asleep. And naturally, as Bryce goes, "I need to pee," I wake up and go, "Watch out for the big-lipped Asian man out there." And he goes, "What?" Got super scared and didn't leave the tent.
All he did
His feet were still in the tent
When he peed.
He peed right out the tent.
Oh, that's not sanitary.
No, it was
No.
not.
It was not.
However,
But the big-lipped Asian man is dangerous. Watch out.
For that big-lipped Asian man.
Alrighty.
Can I just share what it's about a dream? It's not like a dream where it was like
Yeah,
halfway
this
met
will be our
between
last
reality
one.
and it's like dream state.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
this will be the last
Go
one.
ahead.
Okay, I'll be quick. So I had a dream the other night. We already talked about this in the other podcasts, but I was in Tommy's bed, and
In real life or in the dream?
in real life.
Okay.
That'd be an odd dream.
That's the question.
Careless Whisper. No, he's in the dream. Careless Whisper comes on by George Michael. He goes in. Tommy's like,
I'm straight.
There's flower petals
we
with candles
promised
everywhere.
Tommy's mom he's straight.
I'm straight.
Okay, so like dreams are just so weird because I was like I was with a coworker from camp that I became really good friends with, and like for some reason we were camping right next to this amusement park in Utah called Lagoon. I don't know why. And we didn't have any tickets, so we didn't go to Lagoon. But for some reason, in the middle of Utah, there's just a beach, like right there. There's just a beach right there, and like, but like, you have to like go through this admission thing to get to the beach. And my friend is black, and like, the girl won't let us go in because my friend is black. And I'm like, and then I finally convinced her. I'm like, come on, like we're all people, man. Like, come on. I eventually convinced her.
Racism is dead.
I eventually like convinced her to let us both into the beach, and then I looked to my left to my friend, and that friend is now Tommy.
Howdy do.
Just shifted into a different person.
And that's when I realized that I was in a dream, and I woke up right after that, and then I woke up with Tommy right next to me.
Alrighty. Well,
To my left.
I think it's been a solid podcast, boys.
Yeah. Okay. I really hate that we revealed the fact that Nick and
We
I
already
saved this.
revealed it last time. There's no
I
going
know,
back.
I know, but I hate that we revealed it last time. I hate that.
it's okay. That's just how it be.
We
When
have-
you're really close
His
with
bed
the
is super
homies,
comfortable.
You can sleep in the same bed.
Steven would sleep in the same bed as me. Yes,
he
you would.
If it was a big bed and it was comfy and I didn't want to go home.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening. We're getting a call.
And we're done.
Yep.
Josie.
Yes.
she here?
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry about that call.
Yeah.
Well, see you next time. Adios, y'all.
Bye.
$5 that she was calling to ask us to be quieter.
Yeah.
That was a good.
That was.
I feel like in the middle it got a little slow, but then it picked up again at the end.
Your